The Big3 Basketball League, co-founded by entertainment mogul Ice Cube, has announced an official team for the city of Boston. It's called the Boston Ball Hogs, a professional 3-on-3 basketball league with 3 of its 5 roster spots already filled. WBZ Sports Director Steve Burton spoke with Ice Cube to learn more about the Boston Ball Hogs.
Tell me about this Big3 Basketball League, because I love this. I come from a basketball family. I'm big into this. I love what you're doing, but what gave you the idea to do this to begin with?
Big basketball fan. And, after the finals would end, waiting for football season to start would be, I would hibernate because it's like 12 weeks of just waiting for sitting around, So I figured there was a lot of people out there like me. That was one factor. And 3-on-3 basketball, I always wondered why it wasn't professionalized. So many people play it. Most people who like basketball have played 3-on-3 more than 5-on-5.
Right.
It's a great version of the game where you have to show all your skills. You have to be able to pass, dribble, shoot, and defend, or you will be exposed. So I just said, me and my partner, what would it look professionalizing it? And, you ain't got to tell me about a good idea more than once. Once I said, this thing looked pretty good. We got pretty good game here. And after we got the endorsements of a lot of Hall of Famers, and, Clyde Drexler is our commissioner. I said, man, this is a great idea. We got to try to make it work. And here we are 8 years later.
8 years later. And now you come to a city that just loves sports.
Yes.
Right? You know Boston, right? You know about
all about
that's taking place here, the tradition here. We're all about winning here.
All about winning. Great sports town. A lot of pride. And, the players play for the city.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I think the city has that reputation that don't even come out here if you're not going to play hard. And so we've been there 3 times with the Big3. And we decided when it was time to go to this city-based model that we had to have a team in Boston. And so you got the Boston Ball Hogs. You got a champion coach in Gary Payton.
Yep.
And they're putting a pretty good squad together. So hopefully, man, it's my man.
That's okay.
Dr. Dre calling me.
Oh, and man.
I get him.
You can take it if you want.
We playing phone tag, so it's going to be a great squad, and we can't wait to get there. We know the crowd going to be hyped, and give you guys something to cheer about after y'all cheer on the Celtics.
Exactly. Who came up with the name Boston Ball Hogs?
Well, the Ball Hogs have been part of the league since its inception, and since we've really pared down to 8 teams since we went to the city base. And it's got a nice ring to it,
Yeah.
So, now it's about a winning squad and, trying to get another championship to that Boston area.
I love it. Now, as I understand it, when these games are played, trash talking, big as Dallas, right?
Part of it. We want players to be themselves. If you don't trash talk, you don't have to. But if you do, be my guest.
It's entertaining.
As fans, we want to be entertained. As long as the game is serious on the court, everything else is fun. Let's have fun with it. Let's not restrict guys and restrict their personalities. We actually want you to, be as entertaining as you can and play the game the right way.
what I love about it too is, well, you've done so much for society, keeping kids off the streets. You know what I'm saying? What's your message here with this Big Three group?
Well, think big.
Mm,
Think
mm.
big. And, if you surround yourself with the right people, got the right ethic, you can accomplish great things. I hope my fans are watching and seeing what I've been able to do with my opportunities. And hopefully it inspires them to do the same thing with their opportunities. Just don't restrict yourself by your dreams. Think big.
Mm-hmm. That's a great message. How important is it for you to give back?
It's very important. It's part of my journey. I was discovered in a few different ways. Once by Dr. Dre, then by John Singleton in the movies. I've tried to give young talent a chance. And with the Big Three, there's a lot of opportunity out there.
Mm-hmm.
We have a Young Three program where we encourage kids to play 3-on-3 basketball and do the right thing and exercise, get off that video game so much and off that
phone so much.
Move that body and stay healthy and strong and have fun. And so we want to expand that, hopefully in the Boston area with the Ball Hogs. We can expand our Young Three program and get the kids out there playing 3-on-3 basketball more often.
You're also addressing mental health, right? And how important is that to you?
Well, it was something that we said when we started the league that we wanted to be player friendly.
Mm-hmm.
And we wanted to really look after our athletes. We saw so many leagues shunning mental health at the time. So we wanted to be just the opposite. We wanted to embrace our players that may have issues and see if we can help them, see if we can bring awareness and attention and give them a place to play,
mm-hmm.
be themselves, work through their issues and hopefully, just have a better life, at the end of the day.
Right.
We all got a lot of stress.
Right.
Some of us can deal with it in different ways. Some of us have problems with that. So, we just want to be, a good thing and a positive and not the negative.
I love barbershop. Love barbershop.
Me too.
What's your favorite movie that you've done so far?
Wow, man. It's been so many good ones. It's hard to say, it's like my records, they all my babies. So I want to, it's hard to say, man.
I hear you.
So many unique experiences, work with so many different, stars from Lawrence Fishburne, Samuel L. Jackson, to, John Voight. I've worked with some of the best. And so, it's cool to just keep doing good movies that people dig. Barbershop is one of my favorites. But so is Boys in the Hood.
Man, when Boys in the Hood came out, Ice,
yeah,
that was heavy, man.
It is.
That was one of the most powerful movies of all time when that came out. I'll never forget that.
Yeah, man. A little look inside of a world that most people don't know nothing about.
Right.
That's going on every day. And we was proud to be able to show the world, what we had to go through growing up. And hopefully, we did, increase the peace in some way, shape, or form.
Yes, you did.
Watch the movie.
Yes, you did. And people are still watching that movie, man.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
15 years later, people still watching that movie.
Goes up, rest in peace, John Singleton.
Exactly. Boston Ball Hogs, Gary Payton, Kevin Murphy, Deshaun Stevens, Scotty Hobson.
Yeah. And don't sleep. Kevin Murphy was an MVP in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Deshaun is he's like stretch four that can do it all. So it's a great squad you guys are starting with, and you get 2 more picks on May 15th. Check out the draft.
I love this. I love it.
It's gonna be fun.
How physical does it get?
The 3-on-3 game is very physical. It's a place where we allow hand checking, and so we encourage defense. Our guys, are 7-footers, protect the paint, and it's a game that we recognize. If you loved basketball in the '90s and you recognize that type of play,
right?
You'll love the Big 3 because it's that style.
Couple more, I'll let you go. One, I love what you do for kids, man, because in your movies and the way you act and in your songs, you always have a message. You're always uplifting people. And that's how you carried yourself. And that's why I always loved watching you. And it's just so important that you continue to do that. That's why you stay so powerful and so relevant nowadays in a world that's so crazy that you're coming out with this.
Appreciate it. It's really all about, letting kids know, really the difference between entertainment and real life.
Mm-hmm.
And also, being a guy that won't let you down. You know what I mean? So that's something I take pride in.
I love that. Hey, thank you.